Hey guys, it's Asim Sharma, training manager from Solframe Consulting. Again, I do hope you're all well. If you have watched our videos from last year, you may remember a couple of topics that I have persevered with pursuing. So essentially, I have broken them up into finer segments and kept exploring them in further detail. So I want to briefly recap, but try a different combo where I think these two are interlinked. The first one is dealing with people who are not receptive to feedback, and how we can overcome that, and how we can overcome the hesitation with giving them the feedback. And number two is uh, essentially, how do you assert yourself? So they're kind of interwoven, right? So I had an experience today which is reminiscent of what has happened before. Okay. And I was how did it start? Yes. So if you're on LinkedIn, you get these notifications that someone has had a promotion, depending on their privacy settings. Someone has had a promotion, or it's their birthday, or something like that. And there was a person who I had connected with, and I even had their number. I'm not going to say who it is, obviously, him or her. And I didn't honestly remember, but it said, like, wish them a happy birthday, so I did. And they replied, it's not my birthday. I already told you, something like that. You should know that. But anyway, something like that. So I had noticed as well, because I had spoken to that person once, and I don't want to sound ostentatious. I don't want to boast about myself, but I'm a pretty modest and sensitive person. So even if people, behave rudely with me, as it were, I would assert myself, which is the next thing I'm going to come on to. But I won't, do tit for tat or start kind of like having a row with them. I will take a step back and try to be the bigger person and leave the scene. It's very, very tempting to get into an argument, trust me, and at some point I would have. But, I have kind of learned how to focus my energies on more productive things, and we should all do so. Is it worth the fight, as it were? So it just reminded me their response. Their response reminded me that it's they come across as being quite abrupt to the point of being rude. I'm also abrupt, but I'm abrupt in a straightforward way for the better. It's not like you said that, oh, you're so dumb you didn't realize or you don't remember. I have thousands of contacts. I'm not going to remember everyone's specific birthday, especially if it's someone who's not very close. There would be a handful of people, and I probably save maybe 20 birthdays or something in my calendar so that I'm reminded to wish the person. So it's one of those things. So anyway, I just said to them that, look, here's a piece of advice. It's just a suggestion, and I marked it that way. I said that you come across as being quite abrupt and to the point that if you're dealing with clients, it could impact your interactions and your opportunities with people and your future and your career. Because I have been like that at some point. Not exactly. I wouldn't insult people, but sometimes they are. You can say the same thing in different ways. And I'm not referring to diplomacy here. I'm pretty straightforward, as I said. But instead of like saying that this is absolutely rubbish, go and correct this X, Y, and Z, you can say I'm disappointed with this. I expected it to be this way. Kindly correct it. So, be a little more chivalrous. Um, so anyway, they became quite defensive, and they said, first of all, something that I was going to suggest to them, which was remove the notification. It's not even your birthday. So they got the message. They said, well, I'll remove that. And then they said that I don't need advice from you, mister. Something along those lines. I was like, okay. To be fair, this person, I think, is just a teenager, but still, when I was their age, again, I don't want to compare. We're all different. You could be a 40-year-old and still be a kid. And I am also a kid in many ways, but in the right way, not in a puerile way. So I kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt, but it extended the comments that they wrote in response to me. So you are no one to tell me this, and I am not going to change myself for your benefit. And I'm like, what's going on here? I simply said that the fact that you are responding this way means that you have misunderstood me. And then they said that, I didn't really want to talk to you anyway. I was like, okay, that was expected. So I said, sure. The older scene, maybe 5 years ago, would have said, I wouldn't have said, I don't want to talk to you either, but I would have said that, look, you're just being a jerk. Now I didn't even bother. If that person realizes in the future what I'm saying, good for them. If they don't, there's not much we can do about it. We live in a troubled world, and I think a lot of people who, have that kind of precedent. That's what spoils things. Be it in an organization, teamwork. Just look around you. What's happening? I don't need to, instill any more negativity than there already is. So some people will hesitate to give this kind of feedback. I wasn't acting in a bossy way or a condescending way. It was simply to say that, hey, I've noticed this about you, because I remember the same person had ridiculed me about something which I didn't find very appropriate. I think they had commented on my appearance, and there was something else that they said. I don't know what that was. It was a bit not just rude. It was kind of degrading is a better word. And even then I told them that, look, okay, I hear what you're saying, but look at it from my perspective. And if you can't, then let's agree to disagree. So, but what I'm saying is don't hesitate. So even if you feel that it's going to trigger off a response where someone, scathes you, blocks you, insults you, shouts at you, abuses you, whatever the case may be, if you've got to say something to someone, say it. Because the chances are maybe they don't realize, maybe they're a bit domineering. We have different personality types, right? And maybe no one has bothered to actually, be their well-wisher and say that, hey, you know what? Drop the attitude. You may be a young, aspiring, very intelligent, scholarly person with lots of contacts, which is what they mentioned, that, look, I have all these contacts and they all like me and all that. But I find the way you come across as being quite arrogant, and that at some point may, I'm not saying it will, but if you carry on this way, it could cloud your judgment, and one day you may end up losing everything. It can happen. There's a difference between arrogance and self-respect, self-esteem, and pride. Again, it's a balance of things. If you are overconfident, that's a problem. If you're underconfident, that's also a problem, right? You don't want to be submissive. So you have to have this balancing factor of modesty. But you need to know where to apply it. You don't want to come across as being feeble. So just say what you've got to say. As I said before, there may be a way of saying it. So don't sugarcoat it too much. Actually, don't sugarcoat it at all. Don't be diplomatic. This is my personal suggestion. Again, it's a suggestion. I'm not, bossing anyone around here. The whole point of this channel, the whole point of Solframe is to be able to improve the quality of your life in terms of how you interact with people, how you present yourself, communication skills wise, and what you can do in your life to be able to handle situations in a better way. So, you could say that, look, some of the conversations in the past, I noticed one thing, that you can come across as being quite abrupt, and for some people, it's quite similar to what I already said. So, in hindsight, retrospectively, I don't think I actually did anything wrong. But I was kind of expecting it from them because of the way their attitude is. I find them a little overconfident. So it's one of those things. Now, coming on to assertion. Assertion is essentially where you are firm, but you're still polite. So if someone says to me, and I've given this example before, I don't drink. I have been to office parties, and people have insisted, even senior management, like above me, who come across as being authoritative, that seem to have a drink. And I've politely refused, and then the second time they've said it again, and I said that no, that's not happening. And the third time, then that's where I would raise my tone a little bit, and I'll say that, look, in case I haven't made myself clear, I do not drink. So please do not ask me or offer me. It's making me uncomfortable. You can explain, obviously. How's it making you feel? And eye contact is important. Usually people back off. They think, apparently I'm quite scary when I'm angry, but I don't know. The point is, you assert yourself. If I start saying, get lost, etc., or shouting, then that is rude. If I play along with it and have a drink, I've lost the game. It's a personal choice what I want to do. It's nothing to do with religion. It's just a personal choice for me. I would rather not regret my actions the following morning. I want to remain sober and still be able to enjoy, a party or whatever the case may be. So assertion is basically a balance between um, coming across as being passive aggressive, but not aggressive, but still remaining polite and professional. It's a fine balance. You can raise your tone. You don't shout. You can emphasize certain words. You could stress a word that I don't drink, for instance. You could say that loud, or you could stretch it. I don't drink. These are all kind of things you can do. And obviously, eye contact is also important. If I'm looking somewhere else, I'm saying, I don't drink. That's submissive. I don't drink. I look you in the eye. I don't care who the hell you are. That by the way, is in my head, but I'm projecting it as so. And get the message across. And since then, no one ever bothered. Or should I say, no one ever dared. So, you assert your boundaries, whatever they are, and, it'll help you feel comfortable. Because, you know what, at the end of the day, lots of people have said different things to me about different things, about, maybe how my appearance is, or how I style myself, or anything. Could be almost anything. At the end of the day, I'm open to feedback. I may try different things, but I need to be comfortable with what I am inherently comfortable with. And sometimes you need to be able to differentiate between what is good for you and, where you can improve, even if you are comfortable with not being that good, but you can improve. So let's say you're overweight and you're comfortable with being overweight. That's not really a good thing. Obviously, it's good to lose weight and be fit, but you don't need to become a fitness freak. You could just become less heavy. I mean, as it were, just lose the excess weight. You don't need to become ripped. But then on the other hand, if someone says that, okay, Asim, you'd look good in long hair, for instance, I'm giving an example, then I'd be like, no, this is not happening. Or, something else, or Asim, go and get a tattoo, or anything. There can be any kind of peer pressure. So you need to be able to differentiate between your comfort zone for the right reasons, your comfort zone for the wrong reasons, and where you could maybe move out of that and try to improve yourself, and maybe being flexible. Like, for instance, I prefer a clean shaven look. But it's cold and my skin tends to kind of dry up in the winters. So I thought, okay, give it a rest. And, people have advised me, you look better this way. So I thought, okay, I'd try it. Would I keep it like this all the time? No, I don't think I would. But then I would be more open to, trying it more regularly. So it's one of those things. So, putting people in their place, asserting yourselves, and also being able to give feedback to people without hesitating and without fearing. Because if they're going to, sever contact with you, maybe they aren't that wonderful friend you thought they were. If you hesitate to be able to say something to someone, be it a family member, relative, or your wife or husband, your kids, or a friend, if you hesitate to say something, not because it's wrong, but because you're worried about someone's reaction, you probably don't have a very good rapport with them. So that already is indicative of the fact that you need to do something about it and address it. Anyway, I have been rambling on for almost 15 minutes. I hope you found this useful. For further tips and tricks, please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Please give this a like, a thumbs up. You can also find us on FB, Insta, and LinkedIn. I will leave the links in the description. You can also visit our website, which is solframe.in, solframe.in, okay? And it would be lovely to meet you on our courses. We offer a myriad of training in terms of personality development, interview preparation, public speaking, soft skills and communication skills training, and the list goes on. So do check it out. Till next time, please do take care. Thank you very much, and goodbye.